The most awaited boxing match between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul did not particularly live up to the hype. But how did the fight actually go down? Tyson, once the most feared heavyweight champion of the 1980s, was a shadow of his former self by 2024. His glory days of tearing through the ranks were far behind him, replaced by years of personal struggles with substance abuse, health problems, and aging. Most notably, Tyson had been dealing with a painful stomach ulcer and sciatica. At one point, he was in such bad shape that he had to be pushed around in a wheelchair. Earlier in the year, a severe episode of vomiting blood during a flight forced the postponement of this fight with Paul by 6 months. Now, Tyson also appeared to be battling a bad knee, adding to his long list of physical issues. Despite these challenges, Tyson still entered the ring at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, to face Jake Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer. The fight was reduced to 8 rounds of just 2 minutes each, which seemed more like a mercy than a real contest. Paul won the bout decisively with a unanimous decision. The scores, in 79-73 from 2 judges and 80-72 from the third, painted a clear picture of Tyson's decline. The crowd, nearly filling the stadium, initially rallied behind Tyson. They greeted his arrival with a roar of support, a nostalgic nod to his once legendary Iron Mike persona. In contrast, Paul's entrance, along with his brother Logan in a lowrider to the tune of a Phil Collins track, felt underwhelming in comparison. Tyson's slow walk to the ring, wearing a black top reminiscent of his old menacing style, stirred memories of his prime. But that walk proved to be the highlight of his night. In the first round, Tyson tried to show some aggression, landing a few punches on Paul, but it quickly became clear that his body could no longer execute the moves that had once made him a boxing icon. Paul landed a sharp right hand, and Tyson struggled to close the gap between them, hindered by his aching knee and lack of speed. As the fight progressed, it became more evident that Tyson was out of his depth. The second round saw him struggle with energy, while Paul managed to connect with a series of left hands. In the past, Tyson would have easily dodged and countered those punches, but time had robbed him of his speed and instincts. Instead, he took the shots without much resistance, a far cry from the fighter who once punished opponents for even thinking they could land such blows. From there, Paul coasted through the remaining rounds, barely breaking a sweat. For Paul, this fight was a payday, reportedly $40 million, for a performance that seemed easier than the antics that had launched his YouTube career. The bout lacked any real intensity or drama, especially when compared to the high-stakes, skillful fight between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano earlier in the evening. Taylor and Serrano's bout showcased elite boxing at its finest, a stark contrast to the sluggish exhibition that Tyson and Paul delivered. As the fight dragged on, the crowd's excitement fizzled. By the final rounds, boos echoed through the stadium, and fans began leaving before the predictable decision was even announced. The fight had never felt genuine, and the crowd's reaction reflected the sense of disappointment. In the end, it wasn't about who won or lost, but about the uncomfortable reality that Tyson, once a titan in the sport, had been reduced to this. The night ended not with a bang, but with a quiet relief as fans walked away, feeling like they had witnessed something far less meaningful than they had hoped. The win for Jake Paul was hard-fought with stamina and strategy playing to his growth as a competitor. On the other hand, the bravery and determination of Mike Tyson at 58 years old were simply legendary. The bout proved a testament to the enduring spirit of Tyson and the possible rising force of Paul.